Hey guys, Zack here, and this is my review of One Punch Man Season 1, Episode 8, The Deep Sea King. So, this episode and the next one mostly focus on Moomin Rider as a character who, for the most part, has been a background character for most of this. And this episode is mostly about him coming to terms with his whole role as a hero and all that good stuff, and learning what it means to be a hero, and how he came to pursue his dreams and all that stuff. So the episode starts off with a member from the Sea Folk, an octopus wearing a kilt. Not a kilt, what is it, a toga? That's what it's called, the toga. This guy's wearing a toga. He shows up and he starts claiming that the deep sea folk now own the surface, and that he sends a message to them that if they relinquish themselves willingly, the deep sea folk will go easy on them. And Moomin Rider goes in to stop him, but Saitama defeats him before he even gets there. And Moomin Rider, upon seeing the devastation Saitama has caused to the monster, basically, the monster has been pounded to a pulp. All that's left is his torso and the upper half of his spine. So he goes on to look him up. Meanwhile, the deep sea folk have now swarmed the surface en masse and are now showing up on the surface to proceed to decimate all the humans. And the threat level is assessed as Tiger. Meanwhile, the A-class hero Stinger, who we haven't seen up until this point, he shows up. He holds off the monsters single-handedly, defeats most of them before everybody runs off. And then once everybody runs off, he stops holding back and just goes out of fear that the monsters will hurt all the civilians, and then proceeds to defeat the 4 remaining monsters in a single blow. He's excited at first until he's defeated by the Deep Sea King, who wears a Speedo and regalia, and for whatever reason has hearts for nipples. I'm not going to go into that. He gets defeated in a single punch by the Deep Sea King. So, and the Deep Sea King continues to wander around looking for other people to defeat, while the threat level is raised from Tiger to Demon. And he eventually encounters Lightning Max, who is spying on him from the rooftop, tries to defeat him. He sneaks up on Lightning Max somehow. We've seen Lightning Max, so I don't think I'm gonna show him here. Anyway, he defeats Lightning Max. Lightning Max is surprised that the Deep Sea King managed to sneak up on him and roundhouse kicks him, and tries to roundhouse kick him with his special sneakers, which is ineffective. He gets knocked into a building. For a moment, can't feel his body, and then tries again to kick the monster again ineffectively, and is knocked out of the wall. But you can see the explosion from the window, and then you just see 5 seconds later he just goes through the wall, and is caught by S-class hero Puri Prisoner, who is a very homosexual man who is way too aggressive with men for his own good. And he also has Sonic in tow because he was sent to the Smelly Lid prison where Puri is kept. And it's revealed that, and at first it's revealed that Puri Prisoner is serving a life sentence because of how homosexually aggressive he is, and that he does know who Sonic is because he keeps track of everybody who catches his fancy. And as they're talking, the Deep Sea King shows up and fights with Puri Prisoner while Sonic watches. Puri Prisoner starts off at half power to see how much the Deep Sea King can take, and he's upset already because he fancied both Stinger and Lightning Max, and they had both been ruined by the Deep Sea King, so he decides to go up to half power, but accidentally rips the hand-knitted sweater that his boyfriend made him, which sends him into a rage, and he proceeds to attack the Deep Sea King. And the two of them punch. The two of them punch each other in the face. The Deep Sea King is actually kind of hurt. And Puri Prisoner says that he's also kind of hurt a little bit, but Sonic can tell and that he's hurting, and states so in his internal monologue that he can tell he's hurting, and that he's kind of excited to see an S-Class hero and a demon level threat show off against each other, and that neither of them would stand a chance against him, which is kind of true because he's one of the more powerful characters in the series. And then Puri Prisoner realizes that he won't be able to beat this guy at half power, so he goes all out, goes full strength, does a Sailor Moon-esque transformation into his angel style, which is mainly just him naked, and then proceeds to perform an angel rush against the Deep Sea King, which is ineffective but does push the Deep Sea King back. Then the Deep Sea King delivers a combo move of his own, while at the same time pointing out that a combo move should be delivered with each blow intending to kill, which makes kind of sense, because if you're going to do it right. And then he proceeds to demonstrate on Puri Prisoner by delivering a combo move of his own, which causes Puri Prisoner to be passed out. And then he sees and then it starts raining. Pay attention to that, because the rain becomes important later. And then he sees Sonic, who intends to fight with Puri Prisoner, not Puri Prisoner, no. And then he sees Sonic, who attempts to fight with the Deep Sea King, because the Deep Sea King is kind of ignorant about the fact that Sonic is probably one of the more powerful characters in the series, and that Sonic is very upset about that. And for a moment, Sonic is able to hold his own against the Deep Sea King for a bit, until the Deep Sea King starts becoming stronger. And it's revealed at this point that it turns out that as he came to the surface, the Deep Sea King became greatly dehydrated, and that the rain has started to make him feel like his old self again, which is why he's so powerful, and has now taken on his true form. And proceeds to chase Sonic through the city. Sonic, while they're doing that, My Mask is called in as a special guest on a news podcast, and Saitama and Moomin Rider actually meet each other. And Moomin Rider is there because, even though he shouldn't be, because C-Class heroes can't handle it because they raised the threat level, but he goes in anyway. After talking to some other C-Class heroes who were like, no, C-Class heroes can't handle this one. You shouldn't go in there. He goes in there anyway, meets Saitama, who offers to give Saitama a ride because earlier in the episode, he and Genos went ahead. Genos went ahead to stake it out and never came back, so Saitama was just wandering around the city looking for Genos. And as they're talking, My Mask appears on a talk show, who points out that he's only a hero when he's actually being a hero. That's kind of a wishy-washy answer. It's like, yeah, I'm a hero, but I'm only a hero when I want to be, so I don't know. Okay, be a hero all the time or not at all. All right, just do us all a favor. Be a hero when you all the time or not at all. And then reveals what his ideal hero is like. Our heroes should be strong and have a strong sense of mind and cunning and all that stuff, and as long as a hero possesses those, and that they take example from the heroes that have fallen, that they can proceed to become stronger and actually fight monsters that could be stronger in the future. Which is a pretty sentimental thing to do. That's a pretty good speech to give. And then meanwhile Sonic realizes that he can't defeat the Deep Sea King without a weapon and goes to retreat. And at first everybody thinks that the Deep Sea King caught him, but it turns out that that Sonic faked his being captured by making cracking noises with his mouth, and it's just his empty uniform. And now Sonic is naked. Okay, he's buck naked, and he leaves to get a weapon, where he encounters Genos and warns Genos about the Deep Sea King and how powerful he is, and that the heroes won't stand a chance against a real threat before running off. Genos has no idea who Sonic is and just assumes that he's a pervert. He's just a pervert running around naked for no reason. And then Genos eventually does find the Deep Sea King and does corner him, but not before the Deep Sea King finds the evacuation shelter and defeats four other heroes. One of them being Snack, the other being Allback Man, who tries to talk down the Deep Sea King and offers his surrender and all that stuff. And two other heroes whose names I can't remember, but I will picture their name and face around here-ish, because I can't remember what their names are. And they don't say in the episode, which makes it even worse. They say in the next episode, but they're kind of one-off but three of them are like one-off characters anyway, so we really don't see them ever again after this arc. They retire from being heroes after this because they were defeated and decided it was too dangerous, so they quit. So we never see them again. So it's not really important whether you memorize their names and faces or not. Just know that they did team up with Snack and Allback Man to defeat the Deep Sea King. And Allback Man actually wets himself in this scene. He's trying to barter for his life, but it's futile because the Deep Sea King was gonna kill him anyway. So yeah, he actually pisses himself. He's so scared of the monster that he pisses himself. It's both hilarious and terrifying and tragic at the same time. And then after defeating the four heroes, the Deep Sea King is about to kill everybody, and until he's cornered by Genos, who does actually fight against the Deep Sea King in the next episode. But we'll get into that for the next episode, not this one. We're focusing on this episode, not the next one. And then meanwhile, Saitama is riding on the back of Moomin Rider's bike toward where they think the monster is, until Sonic runs by Saitama and Moomin Rider, and only Saitama is able to see him run by because Moomin Rider is not super powerful like Saitama is, and Saitama also has increased visual sighting and all that. He can actually see. He actually has the ability to see things that other people can't see. It's like he can see things that are too fast for the normal eye to see. And Saitama is like, "Hey, did you see that? I'm gonna go check that out." And then he leaves to look for Sonic. Meanwhile, Moomin Rider gets a call from the Hero Association stating that the monster is attacking the evacuation shelter and runs off, leaving behind his cell phone. And Saitama picks it up, and at first they think it's Moomin Rider picking up the cell phone, but then Saitama reveals that he is in fact the one on the other end of the phone, and that Bearded Worker is very excited, and is both excited and surprised by that because they're considering sending him in, which they do in the next episode. But Saitama is a little bit concerned because the Class S hero was defeated, and wants to know what their plan is, and if he should go in. And that's actually where next episode ends. With Genos about to fight the Deep Sea King, Moomin Rider en route, and Saitama eventually showing up at the end and defeating the monster in a single punch, which is the kind of the whole moral of the story. But I will get into that scene in later detail, because for right now we're not focusing on that episode. I promise I will review the episode for next week, so you guys just have to deal for next time. But it is a pretty good episode, and I'm hoping a review will do it justice, because it is a very well done episode. probably the best in the entire series, and I want to be able to do it justice. But for right now, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit that like and that subscribe button. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!